Crazy and with another live stream for you. Hope everybody's doing very well on this beautiful sun Tuesday evening, spring evening. Spring is in the air. Oh man, I can't wait till summer, or at least warms up a little bit here in the Northeast. But if you're down south, you got some good beach weather going on. But here I am on the balcony with y'all. Smoking my Cohiba Cuban. Yes. This is what grown men smoke. This is what grown, mature men do. They sit on the balcony or sit wherever in their space, in their man cave, wherever it is, and smoke a nice little cigar. And drink and partake a beverage in their choice. I decided to do green tea for this hour. That's some good shit, man. Green tea with no sugar. Fuck me. I gotta get me another lighter. So how's everybody doing on this beautiful, beautiful day? Doing very well. I know y'all just getting off of work, coming home from work, through traffic, having to deal with bullshit on the job, bullshit employees, bullshit customers, clients, bullshit bosses. You got to deal with the bullshit, right? I know, I used to deal with bullshit when I was on the job, okay? When I had a JOBB, all right? But it's a beautiful thing being self-employed, but you got to catch what you eat. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy or hard. I'm not going to be one of those guys that said being self-employed is easy. No. You got to work. You got to catch what you eat. Otherwise, you're going to starve. So you got to hustle. You got to get out there, hustle, maybe even work longer than a regular 9 to 5. All right? So I'm just taking a 5-minute break from the tax season. Picked up a couple of new clients today. I'm very happy about that, but I'm gonna have to put them on. I have to make a decision on whether or not I gotta put them on extension or just actually do their return. See if I can complete their return in a record amount of time. And I tell you, I love being on the balcony, living life and enjoying my life without a bitch in my ear, all right? Some of y'all got women in your ear. Some of y'all have good women out there. Well, I wouldn't say good women. I would say women that is on your program, such as a wife, or girlfriend, or significant partner, whatever you want to call it these days, all right? You're not going to get the baddest chick out there, but you're going to get the baddest chick for you, all right? And that's one of the guys got to start thinking in those terms, As soon as you learn the classification of these bitches, you got to classify these bitches, man. That's why Kevin Samuels used to rate these bitches, and they didn't like it. None of y'all motherfuckers liked it, that this man is actually rating these women. Alright? There is a hierarchy. There is a social hierarchy. There is a how you go? Yeah. When it comes to dating. You gotta find out who is attracted to you. And I keep saying that in my live streams. Who is attracted? Who is out there is attracted to you? Are you going to places and being chosen by these women? All right, whether it be for a moment, a night, or even a long-term relationship that can lead to marriage. Who is choosing you, fellas? Why are you chasing these hoes? They should be choosing you. Okay? And when they choose you, I choose you, girl. You know? Then you're the man. You're always going to be the man. But I didn't want to talk about bitches, you know, because you got this punk ass bitch, Leslie Jones. Now, I've been following her career for years, and she's mildly funny for a female comedian. I mean, y'all like to talk about her looks. I'm not going to talk about her looks. And quite frankly, you know, some of y'all shouldn't be talking about looks because y'all look like Quasimodo. All right? And you can still pull bitches. Looking like Quasimodo and still pulling bitches. I've seen it. Okay? And that's what I mean. There's a reason why, and this is my theory, there's a reason why we rate these women, right? Because we believe that, some of the women out there that are 8, 9s, and 10s, they're out of our league, right? But as a great Coach Greg Adams used to say, the bitch is not out of your league, they're just out of your price range. Okay? So if you're broke and you pull your 8, I mean, you got lucky. But that bitch gonna want something out of you. Unless she chose you. Now, believe it or not, rare as it can be, an 8 can choose a Quasimodo nigga who's broke. They ain't got no money. You ain't got no money, no assets, nothing to his name. It does have it. But those bitches are usually assigned to NBA players, athletes, entertainers, high-ranking corporate businessmen or businessmen in general that have money. You know, they ain't trying to get with no 9 to 5. All right. Leslie Jones she's slightly below average, okay, in looks, for my taste. All right, but I'm not gonna call her ugly. Hey, she ain't ugly. She can get it. All right. Like I said, if I were to run into her, have a nice little conversation, and if she's choosing me, I'm not gonna turn her down. For what? Why? I would be walking hand in hand with that bitch. And I dare any of you to say something, say anything about it. Because I will slap the shit out of you. She looks like some of the women that, you know, when I go back down to my small little town in South Carolina, those are the women that actually married to their men for 35, 40 years. And there's a reason for it. Okay? And it's based off of character. It's the character of the woman. It's not only the character of the woman, but the woman is supposed to follow the man. It's in biblical. It's also in nature. Okay? We're supposed to go out there and do the hunting and gathering. All right? And bring that shit home to the wife. Okay? That's what we're supposed to do as men. Okay? We ain't supposed to be on some bull job, and we ain't supposed to be following behind no damn woman. For what? Bitch can't lead. A bitch cannot lead a man. So this is why I'm slowly turning away from professional sports, because we're starting to see female coaches coaching these little boys. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, my friend. Not a good look. That's just my personal opinion. You know. I mean, if you really want to go there, most female athletes rather be coached by men. Even the bulldaggers and the dykes and the bulldaggers, they would rather be coached by men. There's something to this leadership shit. And let me go ahead and digress a little bit, because there's been something I wanted to talk to you fellas for a long time. And when I talk about character, and when I talk about black men having character. All right. Black men having a reputation, having a good reputation, having a respectable reputation, having great character, where they can just walk down the block and say, "Hey, you know that Danny? You know that talking crazy 83? I mean, he may be an asshole, but he's very honest. He's honest. I've never heard anybody talk about that he's a thief, that he's a liar, that he's a con artist, that he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. Never that. That's what I mean by character. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about your character is one thing that irks me as a man. And I see a grown man begging for what they need. Okay? And I see all these grown men on the streets. I mean, somehow they got unemployed. Somehow they're not working. They got thrown out of the house, or whatever the case may be. But I see them on the street begging for change, begging other grown men, for money, begging for what they need, having their hand out. Now, you expect women to do that because that's part of their nature. Their nature is to beg, borrow, and beg and borrow from people, and not pay it back. There's something, there's some issues with my character too. I gotta work on. Some of my family members, but I'm working on it. But the thing about it is that when you're begging, you're losing your dignity. You lose your power. You're losing your edge. If you have to beg for money, for what you need, I'm not saying ask. You can always ask. There is a difference between asking and begging. All right? I can go to my relatives and ask for $100. I mean, what do you need it for? And as a grown man, they have a right. And being that I'm a grown man asking for money, they have every right to ask me, "Hey, man, what you need it for? You got a job? You ain't got no job? Why you ain't got no job? How you gonna pay me back?" All right? But then when it goes out there, when you can't answer those hard questions, and they say no, then you go on your knees and say, "Please, please, please, I need this money. I need it. They're gonna turn off my lights." See, that's where you lose your power. You're losing your power. You lost your dignity at this point. Because I see you as weak. Beggars are weak individuals. They're weak-minded individuals. Begging and bartering for you, not only for money, for your life. You know, sometimes you just gotta be a man and stand on your square. You gotta stand on yourself. You gotta be willing to be. You have to have that warrior mentality, that you're willing to die on that sword. If you get captured, you're willing to die. You're willing to fight your way out of it. Like I said, like I see these police body cam videos, man. I see all these ignorant motherfuckers, you know, especially my age. Especially motherfuckers my age, talking bad to the police officers, talking utter disrespect. Now, believe it or not, I have issues with the police system. I have issues with them. I think that when someone asserts their rights, their so-called rights, not understanding that there is a basis of why this police officer is talking, they have a reason to talk. See, throughout my 52 years on this planet, I have very few contact with police, other than a traffic infraction. And other than that, I give them what they want. I make sure my license is good. I make sure I have insurance on the vehicle, and I make sure that my car is registered. Because see, that's what responsible people do. All right, they don't do all this bullshit that I'm not driving, I'm a traveler. Y'all need to cut that shit out. That sovereign citizen shit, sovereignty. You need to cut that shit out. Because it never works. I've never seen it work. I've never seen a video where somebody a so-called sovereign citizen that went into court and actually beat a traffic ticket for having your car unregistered or having an expired license, which literally you shouldn't be driving. But I've seen these videos where they talk big and bad. Other than that, I've seen these videos where people talk big and bad to these police officers. Now, granted, the black women, they have heart. They say fuck you, officer, fuck you, and they go down swinging. They go down cussing the officer out. They can say, man, fuck you, motherfucker. You can kiss my ass. But that's not the right way to do it. Because if you got caught doing something you're not supposed to be doing, you got caught, you got to take the charge, baby. That's your character. Your character's on the line. And part one of your character is not to break the law. Now, I don't care about drinking and driving. You really ain't gonna be supposed to be drinking and driving, but half of y'all motherfuckers do. Innocuously. Yeah, when you go to a restaurant, you have a beer or two, and then you get on the road and drive. 90% of people do. All right. Now, I'm not talking about having two drinks at a restaurant and then having to stay there for about an hour to sober up a little bit, drink some coffee, eat some lunch, eat a full plate of dinner, and then go back home. No. While watching the game. I'm not talking about those motherfuckers. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that actually get sloppy drunk, get on the road, and then instead of saying, you know what, officer, you caught me, well, let me go ahead and take this. And that's what happened to one of my friends who got caught up in a DUI. And he tells everybody, never do that shit again. Me, I don't drink and drive. If I know I'm going to be sloppy drunk, leave the car there. Even if it's at a parking meter, I leave it there. Take my $35 ticket. You know, come back later, get a $35 ticket on the car, and go on about my business. Pay it and go on about my business. I'd rather pay that $35 parking ticket than paying $500 in tow fees. Okay? $500 in tow fees. Not only that, court costs, you got to pay a lawyer. Your insurance is going to go up. Okay? Your insurance is high as hell already, but it's going to go up 2-3 times. And that's going to be on your record for 5 years. Your driving record for 5 years. So you may not be able to get insurance. You may have to get what is called an SR22. Oh yeah, and your license will be suspended. I want you to understand that. Where you have to go back to the DMV, stand on that dang online for hours just to get a restricted driver's license. Where you can only drive to and from work. And oh yeah, and they're gonna put in a breathalyzer in your ignition. So if you blow a point over the legal limit, that car is not gonna start. Okay. Like I said, I'm not the moral police, all right? Because let me tell you something. I've drank and drive. I wasn't sloppy drunk, but well, yeah, a couple of times I was sloppy drunk. But I was lucky. I wasn't good. I was just lucky. I was lucky I didn't get caught. God was smiling over me. And I'll never do that shit again. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, my friend. It's not worth it. It's not worth going through all that nonsense, paying fines, you know, paying money to the government because you caused this bullshit on your own. All right? Fortunately, I live in a city where I can just get around in public transportation. I don't need to drive. Take the keys away. Leave the keys with my bartender. Go on and take my happy ass home. In an Uber, pay that $15 for the Uber to go home and sleep that shit off until the morning, until I can go ahead and get my car. Yes, my friends, I was lucky. Wasn't good. I was lucky. Never gonna do that shit again. But like I said, I'm not the moral police. I'm not here to judge anybody in their decisions, because 90% of the people out here, they drink and drive, whatever. And don't get caught. But I'm not going to take that chance. I don't want none of y'all brothers to take that chance. All right? But character, begging. And begging the officer, can you do this for me? Can you do me a favor? Can you please do this? No, shut the fuck up. Do what the fuck they tell you to do. When they get you processed and booked and processed and waiting bail, pay the bail, shut the fuck up, and get the fuck out of there. That's it. But if you do get caught, here's what I do, man. I tell you, your license is going to get suspended anyway. They're going to ask you to do a field sobriety test. A lot of these motherfuckers don't know what they're doing. A lot of these police officers, they don't know what they're doing when they do a field sobriety test. Some of them haven't been certified in years. They've only been certified one time, and they haven't recertified in years in certain state jurisdictions. Some of them can't really tell whether somebody is impaired. They just said, well, they don't tell you pass or fail. They tell you 99% of the time they will tell you you're impaired. So here you are, you're looking like a fool, walking in a straight line, hopping on one leg, looking at following the pen with your eyes, up and down, side to side, reciting the alphabet, looking crazy. I see these motherfuckers looking crazy on camera. So let me just tell you this: don't do that shit. Consult with an attorney that's a DUI attorney. I would do, and this is what I tell y'all. This is what I tell y'all, brothers, man. Y'all need to go ahead and network with some of these attorneys out there. Y'all need to put a retainer. You need to put an attorney on retainer, because shit will happen, and you don't want to be caught standing there with your dick in your hand, not knowing what to do because you're going through the process. It's not a fun. I've never been through the process, thank God, knock on wood. But I wouldn't want to go through the process without an attorney. Get yourself a good lawyer, because you're going to need it. And don't just go through the phone book trying to find an attorney. No, you got to use your referral. Ask some of your friends and family members, hey, you know any good attorneys for this situation? And they'll gladly give you that advice. They'll put you on the right place. They'll put you on the right track. I need to get my network of attorneys on for traffic, real estate, criminal, all of that. Now, Chile. Let me talk about Chile for a moment. From TLC, Rosanda. All right, now even in her 50s, she's like what, 55, 56, 57. She's fine as a motherfucker. Man. These motherfuckers outed her out as being a Trump supporter. You know what I say to that? Who the fuck cares? Why do I care whether a celebrity is a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter? I don't give a fuck. Because you see, all politics are local. I don't give a fuck about what's going on with Trump. He wants to start a war with Iran. Let him do that. Let him send your children out to a war. Okay? Out to a war that this motherfucker caused. For no reason. Just fucking with them. Just wanted to fuck with these people. For no reason. Just to have your gas prices go up to $7 a gallon. Now I have my opinions on the orange pimp. I don't think he's good for the country at this point. Some of y'all Negroes out here saying, "Yeah, man, Trump is good for black. He did a lot for black people." Okay, and he did a few things that's good for domestically, but he's a lame duck president. Now I'm hearing all this crazy talk that he's going to be president for life. This is why he started the war, because he's planning on taking on another term as president, which is not going to happen constitutionally. That's not going to happen. Some of y'all better read your constitution. But this motherfucker is going way outside the Constitution. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I don't give a fuck about neither one of those parties. Do I vote? Yeah. I vote locally. As far as presidential election, I write down Talking Crazy 88. That's who I cast my vote in the last election. I wrote in the vote, Talking Crazy 88. And in 2028, I need my supporters to write in the vote, cast your vote for president. 2028, Talking Crazy 88 in 28. See how much time left I have, because I got to take black ass to work. Oh boy. Oh man, I got a lot of the real CR where Jesus died so we can live. Okay. Jacob Sage says hi. Zoe Sigma says cut cute. Jessica Peter says he has everything in his name and died on the cross. Well, yeah, you know what? Happy Easter, happy resurrection. All right. Hope some of y'all motherfuckers out here, repentant. Mm-hmm. All right, let me go ahead and take my black ass inside. It's getting colder and everything. I got shit to do this evening. Well, let me let y'all go. This is Talking Crazy 88 signing off. And black folks, and I am out of here, people. And black folks, particularly black men, let's be careful out there, all right?